morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. I have questions for you. What opens with Miss Mary Jane in her element and Justin a little bit out of his element? And what closes with Mary Jane out of her element and Mr. Justin on his way to Paris in his element? If you guess Being Mary Jane season 4 episode 16, feeling ambushed, you're correct. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and sticking around for my review and recap of this episode. Let's see how we got from opening to closing. I'm Angela and the channel is Be Fabulous You. Okay, let's go. So Mary Jane and Justin, producer Bay, are being paparazzi. Mary Jane is having fun. Justin, not so much. She's posting selfies of them and even doing stuff like adding the dog face filter. She's at home kicking it about, they're at home, one of their homes, kicking it about their new high public profile. And we find out that Mr. Justin was Mr. Everything in high school. He did this, he did that. He was involved with this, he was involved with that. That's what we hear. That's what how the rumor seems to be unfolding. And we see that the ratings are up for the show, and or Miss Mary Jane's popularity, relatability, interest ratings are up. And Justin is asking, would you be with a more curated approach to our social media? And Mary Jane is like, yeah, sure. Okay, so then we see Mama Helen. She's cutting veggies in the kitchen. The house phone is ringing. Is it Frank? We wonder. Frank is the guy from last episode who she went and told off and then left. And hubby comes into the kitchen while the phone is ringing. They're both looking at the phone, but no one answers the phone. Did anybody answer the phone? And then Miss Helen is like, telemarketers. I was like, ain't nobody gonna answer the phone? Or is it like how when I used to have a house phone, it was like at some point I'm like, who calls me on my house phone? I'm not answering that. It's just a mess. Everybody who know me call me on my phone, my cell phone. So I don't know, but I was kind of like, and my mother said he's toying with her. What this old man doing toying with this old woman? Okay. So then we see Kyra being visited by two friends. At first, I didn't really understand what was going on, but these are the wags, wives and girlfriends of sports stars. She's with the baseball wags. And Kyra is resistant to hanging out, going out. She like, I got my mask on. She getting her beauty treatment on. She don't really know them. She really don't know if she like them, but she kind of warms up a little bit when she finds out that they're not going out, but they're drinking in. And the one that she kind of likes has even bought her some brown liquor or something that she kind of like, okay, that's cool. Then we see Mary Jane. She's watching, and Justin are watching TV. And, it's kind of like they're still in the news. They're in the gossip TMZ type, they in that kind of news, like entertainment news. He's hashtag producer Bay, and they're watching a story where it's like, is producer Bay hashtag millionaire and on a show. And Justin is kind of upset because he like, that's my personal business. And Mary Jane is like, I mean, is it really so bad that people know that you have $30 million? And Justin is like, how did you know the exact amount of money that I have? And Mary Jane is like, and then she confesses. And she's like, I mean, when I came to get your passport, I just saw it lying around in your bedroom, in the back of the closet, in the top shelf, in a banker's box. And that's how what had happened was that's how I found out. Mary Jane. I'm glad she confessed, though. I'm glad it's out in the open. But she was forced to confess because she slipped up. And that's what happened. I'm the one. I'm not good at keeping lies and keeping stories and stuff because, I mean, it's just a lot to keep that up. How you gonna stop stuff from not slipping out? I guess just not say nothing. Just repeat with the other. I don't know. I'm not good at being a liar. So I'd have been like her. I'd have been out there. Okay, so then we see Mama Helen, and she's like talking to herself. Oh, telephone trick. That old telephone trick. Is that the old telephone trick? It reminds you of Issa Rae, a much younger woman, practicing what she gonna say to the fellas or to the fella. You know what I mean? So she, and she gets busted by hubby. He come in, he like, what's going on? What you talking about? Oh, I can't remember what she said. Lies, lies, all lies. And then Mama Helen is like, well, I have a Jack and Jill meeting. And Papa is like, it's a little early for that, isn't it? And she's like, oh yeah. And he's like, don't you need your purse? And she's like, oh. And it's kind of like, oh, my Mama Helen. You kind of hot and heavy to rush out of the house, and your story ain't really straight, and woo, bochinche. Okay, so then we're at Good Day USA, Great Day USA, and Mary Jane and Justin, and Mary Jane goes up to Justin, and she's like, Justin, and Justin is like, do you have questions about the show? And Mary Jane is like, no, and Justin is like, not now, Mary Jane. Dry. Okay, so then we see Mama Helen with Frank. Frank is the guy that she cussed out before, and I'm leaving. Her man's old friend from 44 years ago. And they're at a restaurant. So she done rushed out, lied to her husband to get to this restaurant with Mr. Frank. Frank says he tried to get Helen back for 10 years. And Helen is like, I had already made a life without you. And then Frank is like, with my best friend. Drama. Okay, so then we're at Great Day USA, and Kara is like, talking to the staff, or everybody. She like, look, WikiLeaks is about to drop a big cache of information, and I need y'all to be on standby. We got to sort through, see what stories are in there, blah, 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 blah. Then we see Mary Jane and Justin there in an office, and Mary Jane is like, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. And Justin is like, you don't trust me. And Mary Jane is like, I do. And Justin is like, so you just crawled in the back of my closet and scanned my bank records because you trust me? And Mary Jane is like, I have trust issues. But why are you keeping secrets? And Justin is like what secrets am I keeping? And some of this stuff is none of your business. And she's like, you have money. He like, none, it's none of your business. And she's like, you're like a unicorn. I mean, you're just like something unheard of. You exceed all of my expectations. But I'm ready to be in a trusting relationship. And then they had this whole exchange. And then she gives her, I thought it was the phone, but apparently it's the tablet. He gives her his tablet with the password. And then he like, you gonna give me yours? And then she's like, sure. And she gives him the tablet and the password. And then he leaves. And then Mary Jane goes and she gets Kara and PR Aaliyah, and she like, oh my God, I just gave Justin my iPad and my code. I gotta delete I don't know whether to delete the dick pics or the emails. We gotta hurry up and get on it. So they're like having a powwow in the office. They having a meeting. They having a come to Jesus, try to sort it out, emergency meeting type thing. I don't know why they didn't pull the blinds. I guess if you pull the blinds, it's obvious that something is going on. But homeboy is watching them do their meeting through the window because because he can see. She done gave him the wrong password, and he watching this go on, and he get up and he's like, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, ladies. Mary Jane, you gave me the wrong password. She's like, oh, what had happened is that I changed it for security purposes, but it's yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. We see Helen and Frank, meanwhile, their lunch has turned into dancing, and they're laughing and talking and looking very comfortable, very comfortable. Very comfortable, Helen and Frank. Okay, so then Mary Jane is like, I need my iPad. And Justin is like, oh, so you can delete more dick pics? I saw you and your friends deleting pictures. I didn't even look at your old iPad because I prefer my relationships to unfold organically. Now, when all of this was happening with the iPads, because something about Justin, like the way he kind of came on the scene, he seemed like a little sneaky to me. And I'm like, he done hustled up on a way to get her to give him voluntarily her iPad and password. But I don't know. But I was kind of like, this is suspicious. Is that me? I'm just suspicious. Okay, so he prefers his relationships to unfold organically because he's not crazy and neurotic like her. That's the implication. Okay, so then we see Mama Helen in the hotel room with Frank. And now she's dressing. And she says, "This is goodbye, Frank. A sweet farewell." And I was like, she ain't finished with them. And my mama's like, oh, she finished with him. She got it out of her system. I'm like, Oh, fast, so grown woman. Okay, so then we see Mary Jane asking her friend to hold Justin's iPad because she's like, you know, snooping is my gateway drug and I know I can't handle this responsibly. And then Mary Jane gives it to Kara, then Kara gives it to Aaliyah, and you know, it's kind of like, oh, you gonna hide it in your purse? You an amateur. That's the first place I'm gonna look. You underestimate me. Hide it where you hide your jewels. I think Kara tells that to Aaliyah, and Aaliyah's like, y'all are some crazy old ladies. Okay, so then Mama Helen is coming home and she's like to her husband, oh, I'm sorry, my meeting went over. And he's like, oh, that's cool. It gave me time to, you know, install the microwave. And she's like, oh, I love you. Because now she's feeling, you know, guilty or whatever. And then he's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I invited Frank for lunch. And she's like, here? And it's like, yeah, Mama Helen, here. Okay, so then we see Mary Jane, Miss Aaliyah, and Kara. And Kara is hot flashing, we found out. And Aaliyah is like, I had you pegged more for 30. And then Kara is like, I love this girl. Because she don't know if she like her or not exactly. Because, you know, that's kind of how Kara is. She not one to just warm up and become best friends with everybody. And then something about crazy about Guy. I want to share my joy with the world. Oh, I guess Mary Jane is saying she's crazy about this guy and she wants to share her joy with the world. And because they talk about how, you know, the tension between her and Justin with it being public, their relationship being so public, and Justin is not really down for it. And Mary Jane kind of is down for it because she enjoys, you know, the public adoration and everybody knowing she's, you know, the apple of his eye, and, you know, she's liking it. And, you know, that's true and that's honest. And then we hear Kara talking about the wags and everything. Then we see Kara hanging out with the wags, and the black one is covering for Kara because Kara is like at the restaurant like, ooh, it's hot. And the black one is like, oh yeah, it's really warm in here, although she's not feeling warm. And she's like, we need ice water for the table. And then Kara's like, thank you. See, that's her girl. Or is it? Because they end up talking about, you know, how Orlando likes women with big booties, or all men like women with big booties, or something, something, something. And then they like, see, both of y'all got the booty. Both of y'all got big booties, and Orlando was with both of y'all. And Kara's like, what? And then, you know, the other woman, the black wag that she's kind of cool with, or that she thought she was going to be cool with, she like, And she's like, Okay, so then we see that Mary Jane tweeted that they were going to be at one place, and her boyfriend is like, why are you tweeting out our business? But then she took them to another place. It was kind of like some subterfuge for the paparazzi. And then the place she took them to is like she had bought out the whole place, so they were in total privacy. So she's trying to, you know, be respectful of his desire to not be in the public eye. But meanwhile, she creating more gossip in a way. So social media, they talking at the restaurant, thinks that Justin is proposing because they did this, you know, fake out. And they're kind of joking about it and exchanging tablets and stuff. And then the woman then we're back with Kara and the wags, and I don't know her name, but the one that Kara kind of thought that she was going to be cool with is like, Kara, I'm sorry you had to find out about me in Orlando like that, but it was just one night and we were drunk, and it was like a long time ago, like last season. You know how little kids are like, oh, that was a long time ago. And you'd be like, you only 4 years old. What's a long time ago? 2 days? I mean, what? She's like, that was a long time ago, like last season. That's just the other day, girl. Last season is like right now. And then she's like, you know, you and Orlando have something special. You know, I can see how he interacts with you. It's never been like that with anyone. And I hope we can get past this. And Kara's like, I don't know. I need time to process this. This is a lot, which I totally understand. Okay. But you know. Okay, so then we see Mary Jane and Justin, and they're talking, and Justin is, you know, basically like, well, you know, I only said I love you to one woman, and Mary Jane is like, Simone, and Justin is like, and she like, don't be surprised, because, you know, I went through your stuff, so let's not play. And then Justin is like, you know, when you're that age, you think you have all the time in the world. And then we see Mary Jane on the air at Great Day USA, and she's coming off the air, and she finds that Aaliyah is like, you know, hey, I got some more information on Justin's money, you know, that thing you asked me to look into. And then she take her in the office, and she like the WikiLeaks that just got dumped that Kara mentioned at the beginning of the show. He was in it. He was part of it, and it was employee stock in this company. And Mary Jane is like, he never worked for that company. He said he invested in some stocks that did well. And Aaliyah is like, well, it was only employees who had this, that got this money. And according to the WikiLeaks, he donated half of it to charity. So are you sure that he wasn't an employee? And Mary Jane is like, no. And Aaliyah is like, I think that you should ask him, like talk to him and find out what's going on. And then we're at the luncheon with Frank and Helen and her hubby Paul at their place, at the, you know, Mary Jane's parents' place. And it seems innocuous enough on the surface. Okay, so then we find Lauren is the one who slept with Orlando. So this is Kara basically telling Mary Jane what's up. She's like, you know, oh, and Mary Jane is like, Lauren, that's the one you like, right? And Kara is like, yeah, it was only 9 months ago. And, you know, Mary Jane is like, well, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none, huh? And Kara is like, not really amused. And she's like, yeah, your new friend Aaliyah is like a fetus. I don't know if I like her because she's so daggone young. So, you know, whatever, they talking. And then we see Paul and Helen after lunch processing. Their guest has left, the guest that they had for lunch. And they're processing. And Paul is like, you know, this really takes me back. You still have feelings. Oh, you thought I couldn't tell? He came back for you. Is that what he's doing here? And then Helen starts crying. And Paul is like, you can't crawl out of this with tears. And Helen is like, he's nothing. And Paul is like, you're throwing our marriage away for nothing? And Helen is like, I choose you. You are my light, my candle. He's always just been a match. I choose you. And Paul is like, I know love is complicated, but you have always been my match and my candle. And then we see Kara and Aaliyah, and they're showing Mary Jane the newest trends online. And the internet is dragging Justin's love of his life. And the interwebs are calling Mary Jane an upgrade. So Mary Jane kind of likes that. It's better to not be dragged and to be thought of as the pretty one than to be dragged and thought of as the ugly one, publicly humiliated. But she feel bad for the woman. And then Paul shows up in the living room with a suitcase in hand. And Helen is like, don't go. And Paul is like, I'm not going. This is for you. Oh my gosh. No pearls to clutch. But you understand, I'm clutching my pearls. And then Mary Jane is trying to comfort Justin about his ex-girlfriend being cyberbullied. And, you know, she's like, yeah, you know, do you want me to, we could have Aaliyah get on it. We could do this. We could do that. And Justin is like, you know, I'm basically done with social media. I'm going to Paris. No, I didn't get sent there. I asked to go. And I'll call you when I land in Paris. Bye-bye. And that's the end of the episode. Woo! Okay, so I love this episode. I really love the older people and they mess and confusion, because it's kind of like, in a way, I almost want, even though I'm like in the older people category, you almost think, oh, they got everything figured out. It's all stable with them, but they have drama too. I know elders, like one of the elders that I know, she's with this guy who's like 20 years younger than her, I think, but he's still like 20 years older than me, but he has a reputation for kind of being a hustler with some people. But then my mother is like, well, that's probably like an old rumor. It may not even be true anymore. And I'm like, well, but the mama, is she okay? Is she hustling him, or is he hustling her? Or does she know, or does she peep game, or does she not peep game? And I just want her to be, an established member of the community with everything figured out. But I don't know if there's any drama, because it ain't none of my business, because it's 40 years beyond my age grade. But still, like, Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share with all of the fabulous people that you know and the fabulous people that you don't know yet. We're working on 150 subscribers. I think we're pretty close to 140 if we aren't. Yay! Thank you so much for being a subscriber, and welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not new. And if you're not a subscriber, go on and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. What else? What else? What else? Today is the best day ever. Be you. Be fabulous, you darling. Goodbye, baby.